Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We from Group 1 will present our work with the theme entitled Language Assessment Principles. First of all, my name is Uray Dika Isvila Dinata and my group mate name is Sulthon Hazim Nur Afif. Alright, I will start my presentation. As you can see here, there are 5 principles in language assessment, namely practicality, reliability, validity, authenticity, and washback. We will explain these principles in the next slides. The first is practicality. The practicality referred to here is about the cost, the amount of time in doing the assessment, easy to assess and easy to work on the questions, in task construction, administration, and human resources. The attributes contained in the practicality of the language assessment are stay within budgetary limits. The cost of making the assessment as well as the fees that students must pay before the test must be affordable for them. Can be completed by the test taker within appropriate time constraint. The test should not be more than 5 hours. Ask clear direction for administrations. Make the administration as simple as possible. Only utilizes available human resources. Does not access available material resources. Considers the time and effort involved to both design and score. Okay, the next is reliability. The reliability referred to here is consistency. For example, consistency in relation to student or test takers, rater or scorer, test administration, and the test itself. There are several factors which affect assessment reliability, namely students, scoring, test administration, and the test itself. Before going there, I first explain what attributes are in this reliability. A reliable test has consistent condition across 2 or more administration, give clear direction for scoring or evaluations, has uniform rubrics for scoring evaluation, lend itself into consistent applications of rubrics by the scorer. Contains item or tasks are unambiguous to the test taker. The next is about student-related reliability. Unreliability in this case usually occurs because of many things. For example, getting sick, having no energy, bad mood, anxiety, and many more. And therefore cannot show student best or real performance. In other words, the result of his or her test might not be reliable. The raters of scorer of a test should possess reliability, and this is about rater reliability. They should be consistent in scoring a test. There are 2 kinds of rater reliability, intra-rater reliability and inter-rater reliability. Intra-rater reliability means consistency within the writer or scorer himself or herself. Besides inter-rater reliability, another kind of rater reliability is inter-rater reliability, which means consistency between 2 or more raters. A test administration reliability. A test administration is reliable if the procedures of the administration is in accordance with what has been designed. An unreliability might also result from the condition in which the test is administered. The next is about the test reliability itself. Unreliable scores can be due to bad quality of the test, such as unclear instruction, ambiguous answer, bad item construction, or clues to the correct or wrong answer. Unclear instruction can be found when in matching items the instruction does not state whether each of the responses can be used only once or more than once. Ambiguous answer occurs when in multiple choice items there are 2 or more correct choices. The next is validity. What does validity mean? Validity is usually defined as a test or assessment which is used to measure what is supposed to be measured. This section discusses some aspects related to validity, that is content-related evidence, criterion-related evidence, and construct-related validity, consequential validity, and phase validity. Validity test is measure exactly what it proposes to measure, does not measure irrelevant or contaminating variables, relies as much as possible on empirical evidence. Performance involves performance that samples the test criterion's objective, offer useful, meaningful information about a test taker's ability, and is supported by a theoretical rationale or argument. Next one is about content-related evidence or content-related validity. It is referred to the validity of the content of a test in relation to its objective. Related to content validity, we have to know two other terms, and that is direct test and indirect test. Direct test is when we test directly what is to be tested. Meanwhile, indirect test, the learner do not perform the test itself, but rather a task that is related in some way. Criterion validity. Criterion-related validity deals with whether a test reaches a certain criteria. Criterion-related validity has two kinds, namely concurrent validity and predictive validity. The next is construct-related evidence or construct validity, which means that a test should be valid by construct. Construct refers to the theory, hypothesis, or model of something that attempts to explain observed phenomena in our perceptions. Reading test is valid if it matches with reading construct, and speaking test needs to be valid by its construct. Consequential validity. Consequential validity refers to impact of a test to the test takers. When we determine that the final exam, for example, should be conducted through internet, consequences is that the test takers should be prepared to be able to use internet-based tests. Otherwise, our test will not be valid because the test taker might be troubled by the inability to use internet. The phase validity is the last kind of validity is phase validity, which concerns the appearance of the test. We might think that a written test does not look suitable for a testing. Speaking of multiple choice, grammar test seems unsuitable as test for writing. In this example, written test for speaking and grammar test for writing, the test lack phase validity. The lack of tests lie in the incomplete constructs of speaking and writing. The correct phase validity is when speaking is tested to speaking and writing is tested to writing. The last one is authenticity. Authenticity can mean the degree of closeness of the test to the real-life task in the target language. Regarding Vitus Brown and Abe Wikrama 2010 mentioned that authentic assessment contains language that is as natural as possible, has items that are contextualized rather than isolated, includes meaningful, relevant, interesting topics, provides some thematic organization to items, such as through a storyline or episode, and offer tasks that replicate real-world tasks. I think that is it for my turn. The next one will explain the aspect is Afif.
What is WASPEC? In general terms, WASPEC is the effect of testing on teaching and learning. In large-scale assessment, WASPEC often refers to the effect that tests have on introduction in terms of how students prepare for the test. Cram, course, and teaching to the test are cases of WASPEC that will have both negative and positive impact. Whereas in classroom-based evaluation, aspect can have a number of positive signs, extending from the benefit of planning and investigating for a test to the learning that collects from criticism on one's execution. Aspect incorporate the impact of an appraisal on instructing and learning. Sometimes recently the evaluation itself, that is, on planning for the evaluation. One way to upgrade prospect is to comment liberally and particularly on test execution. Mirrors exhausted instructor written test to understudies with a single letter review or numerical score and consider their work done. A small bit of respect may moreover offer assistance understudies through a determination of the numerical score on the different subsection of the test. A subsection of on for tense forecast that yields a moderately low score may serve the demonstrative reason of varying the understudy and region on understudy and region of challenge. A test that provide beneficial aspect. The first one is positively influence what and how teachers teach. Second, positively influence what and how learners learn. The third, offer learners a chance to adequately prepare. Fourth, give learner feedback that enhance their language development. Fifth, is more formative in nature than summative. Six, provide condition for peak performance by the learner. Applying principle to classroom testing. There are five principles of language assessment, which are practically, reliability, validity, authenticity, and respect. And this is some checklist when applying principle to classroom testing. The first one is practicality checklist. The second, test reliability checklist. The third, intra-rater reliability checklist. Then the fourth is content validity checklist for a test on a unit. And the fifth, consequential validity checklist. The sixth, authenticity checklist. And the seventh, prospect checklist. Maximizing both practicality and prospect. In the first picture, it appears to infer the certainty of the relationship. Large scale multiple choice tests cannot offer much prospect or realness, nor can portfolios and comparable options accomplish much common sense on or unwavering quality. This require not be the case. The challenge that scrupulous instructor and assessor confront in our calling is to alter the position of the light. This will be finished by endeavors to trust conventional test format on the chart to the correct, and to extend the common sense and unwavering quality of portfolios, diaries, and conference. The relationship portrayed within the chart will hence thrust the relapse line into the right-hand corner, as portrayed in the second picture. I think the presentation ends here. Thank you for your attention. More or less, we're sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.